This text animation technique is great if you just want something simple but you want it to be impactful, and all we are doing is really taking one letter at a time and animating it into make like one word. But it's such a lovely effect, so I'm going to talk through how to do it just now. And the secret is, and I don't know if you can see it at the start, is we actually have this first slide with 0.1 of a second, and this is just so we don't want anything to be on the very first slide until the first letter comes on. But I'll talk you through how we get the effect and everything and start it from scratch. So again, we are in the mobile video format size, 920 by 1080, and I've just changed the colour to one of my brand colours. And this time we have went to elements and I've typed in texture transparent, and you get lots of lovely elements that you can use from this one here, which is how the plastic kind of wrapper, we get kind of grain, we get this is kind of water effect or bubbles. There is lots and lots of lovely ones we can use, and I'm just going to go for this one here, which is kind of see-through plastic bag effect. And as I said, we're going to start off with this at just 0.1 of a second. I like to just drag to get the timings I want, but we can also go up here and we can type it in there as well. There's always, you'll find with Canva, 2 or 3 different ways that you can do different techniques. So if we duplicate this slide, and I'm just going to grab the letter, copy it across, and the font I've used is the Collective font. And what we'd like to do is get our word working and centralised first of all before we can break down the slides. So I'm just going to copy the letters until I have all the letters I need for the word. Oops. And take a bit of time to get your spacing right. That includes the gap that you want to have between each letter. And when you're happy with that, select them all. And then you want to find your centre point, and again you can find your centre point by either finding the red lines that go horizontally and vertically across the page, or you can go to position. Oops. And if you do that and click centre like I did, it centres all the letters. So there we go. Now that we have all our letters, I want you to go back to the first slide and duplicate the blank one. Then we select our first letter, and if you do Command Control, Command C and then Command V, you'll be able to paste it exactly in place that it was on the other slide. And then we want to do is add our animation, which is stomp, and it's only on enter, so we only want it to stomp on enter. And we want this slide to be about 0.6 of a second, so that it's got enough time for the letter to appear fully on the page before it moves on to the next slide. And then we want to duplicate the page again, and this time we want to add in our next letter. So again, copy paste, and we want to animate stomp. But what you'll need to do is you need to remember to remove the stomp on the second page for the letter 8, otherwise it's going to try and bring in the animation again. So what we want is we only want the H coming in the first page and then the E coming in the second page. So if we duplicate and then remove animation from the letter E so that it doesn't animate on this slide, then we need to go to our next one. And this time we'll grab our L and then we'll animate, stomp and enter. So really we just have to keep remembering to remove the animation in the next slide and then add the animation to the right letter. That's really the only tricky part. And then once we have all our individual letters on their own slides, we can remove the last page because we don't need it anymore. You can see when we play it from the start that we have each letter coming in with its own stomp animation.